Coffee Break German Season 3, Episode 2. Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Coffee Break German. Ich bin Marc.
Und ich bin Andrea.
Wie geht's dir, Andrea?
Mir geht es sehr gut, danke. Und dir, Marc?
Ja, mir geht es auch sehr gut. Aber heute gibt es etwas Verschiedenes, nicht wahr?
Etwas anderes?
Ja, something different about where you are today.
Ja, it's so exciting. Es ist sehr, sehr aufregend, ja. I am in our recording booth.
For the first time in a long time.
In a long time. I could say goodbye to my shoe cupboard recording booth.
Well, we're delighted to have you back. Obviously, everything is COVID safe, but you're there in the recording booth, and I'm on the other end in my recording booth here at home. We are talking about what today? Über was sprechen wir heute?
Yes, I think you will be delighted, and so will our listeners. We're going way back now, and we're going to talk about something that you would maybe expect at the very beginning of your German learning journey. Mm-hmm. And it's der, die, das.
Okay, I'm sure we're going to take it a little further than that, though, yeah?
Yes, so I am finally revealing some characteristics that words have that go with der oder die oder das, so that you can group some of our vocabulary into masculine, feminine or neuter.
Ausgezeichnet. Also, bist du bereit?
Ich bin bereit.
Los geht's. So, I want to know all about these rules that tell us whether a word is der, die oder das.
Yeah, sehr gut. I understand. So obviously this doesn't include all of the words we know, but because now we have a bit more vocabulary to work with, we can group things. Mm-hmm. And it has something to do very often with the endings of the words. And I'm going to start with something that maybe some already know, and it's the ending chen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm sure you've heard about this, that the ending chen, which makes something smaller, means that this is a das word. So, for example, Mädchen.
Mädchen, yeah, we've heard Mädchen before, das Mädchen, the girl. Okay, what other words then link in the same way?
Well, obviously we have the chen form that has different forms in different areas of the German-speaking world. Mm-hmm. So, Lein is also making something smaller.
Okay.
And that's why it's also das. Yeah?
Right.
For example, der Tisch, das Tischlein.
Right, so der Tisch is the table and das Tischlein then is a little table, a small table.
Ja, genau. Ich könnte auch sagen, I could also say das Tischchen.
Das Tisch. Oh, I think I prefer Tischlein.
Yeah,
it's easier to say.
You see. So, Lein and chen, they both have the same function. They make something small, and that means that they're das.
Okay, that sounds good.
Let's look now at some other word endings that maybe listeners haven't come across or not knowingly come across maybe. For example, the ending ment.
Okay, so we're still talking about das words here, aren't we?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to give you a few endings for das. And ment is one of them. Do you know a word that ends in ment?
I think the word instrument.
Ja, sehr gut, super. Instrument oder Parlament.
Okay.
Yeah. And another ending would be Do you know a word that ends in
I think I've heard Studium before.
Sehr gut, super. Yeah, that's very good. Studium. What is a studium?
Is it like the studies of something?
Yes, a studium is studies that leads to a degree.
Yes, so it's your kind of university career or your course of study, something like that.
Genau, ja, richtig.
So it's das Studium, das Parlament, das Instrument, and das Mädchen, das Tischlein. Okay.
I'll give you another word ending in and it is das Praktikum. Do you know what das Praktikum is?
Is that like a practical work experience or something like that?
Yes, it's an internship.
Internship, yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
Genau, ja. So das Praktikum.
Das Praktikum, okay.
So, and now very interestingly, words ending in O.
Just the letter O?
Yeah, for example, Auto, das Auto.
Yeah, okay, das Auto, okay.
Ja.
Do we also have das Konto?
Sehr gut, ja, genau, sehr gut. Das Konto. Ja,
Okay.
so an account.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ja? Sehr gut, super. And then we have words similar to Praktikum, but it's just the ending in tum. But maybe they would feed into the same group as Ja?
Okay.
For example, das Ultimatum.
Right, so the ultimatum, das Ultimatum.
Ja, sehr gut, ja. Oder das Altertum.
I am not sure about that one. What's das Altertum?
Das Altertum is the historical past.
Oh, okay, kind of like, would we say in English, antiquity?
Yes, but it's very old, so it's not like the 1950s.
No.
It's old. It's more like
ancient Greece or
the
something like
Middle
that.
Ages or something like this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Good.
So these are all the endings I have to offer for das.
Okay.
Shall we move on to der?
Why not? Let's go on to der then.
Sehr gut, super. So there are a lot of words, not all of them, but many words ending in er.
Okay. So can you give us some examples of those words then?
Yes, absolutely. Zum Beispiel der Roller.
I'm not sure what that is.
It's a scooter.
Ah, okay. A scooter. Der Roller. Okay.
Or also der Keller.
Der Keller would be like a cellar, like where...
Yes, a
pub,
basement,
in
a
sense.
cellar, yeah. Okay, sehr gut. And then let's go to the more interesting endings. And it's, for example, words ending in ismus.
Ismus. Okay.
Should
Can
I
you give
give
us
you
some
an
examples?
example?
Yeah, I think so.
Der Kapitalismus.
Der Kapitalismus. So is that capitalism?
Genau.
Right.
And we have many of these. People can really take them from English, yeah? It's ism.
Yeah.
Ja, so Ismus. Der Kapitalismus, der Zynismus.
Is that like cynicism?
Ja, genau.
Okay.
Oder der Metabolismus.
Metabolism?
Ja, sehr gut, super.
Okay. Right, so
Sehr
we've got
gut.
ER, we've got ismus. What else do we have for der words?
Ant. Zum Beispiel der Elefant.
Okay, right.
Ja. Do you know anything else in Ant?
What about restaurant or restaurant?
Ja, ha, da bist du reingefallen. You fell into this trap. I'm going to give you two exceptions. One
Okay.
is das Restaurant. Ja. And the other one is das Deodorant.
Ah, right, okay. And would this be because perhaps these are coming from other languages?
I would say that is the case because Deodorant, Restaurant. Of course, you can say Deodorant oder Restaurant. You can say this.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Okay,
Yeah?
we'll follow your example then. So give us another couple of words
I'll
then
give you
that
another
are
one.
der words.
Der Hydrant.
Der Hydrant. What would that be?
This is the thing that is in the street where water can come out when you need to extinguish a fire.
Yeah, a hydrant. I should have really kind of clicked on that one, yeah.
Okay, der Hydrant oder der Quadrant.
Right, okay, so a quadrant.
Ja,
Okay.
Richtig.
Right. Okay.
okay. And then another one is the ending ling. For example, der Pfifferling. Do you know what a Pfifferling is?
It rings a bell. I'm not quite
I'm
sure.
sure you've eaten Pfifferlinge. Yeah. They are mushrooms. They're yellow in color. I think they're called chanterelles.
Chanterelle mushrooms. Right, okay. That's new for me, yeah.
Yeah. So der Pfifferling
Pfifferling.
oder der Lehrling.
Der Lehrling.
Yeah, that's someone who does an apprenticeship.
Yes, so an apprentice. Okay.
And I'll give you the exceptions are the words coming from English. So, for example, bowling, that is not there. That is das Bowling.
Okay.
Or dribbling, das Dribbling. So the words coming from English ending in ing, they are not there. They are das.
Okay, right. So that's kind of following a similar pattern as the words that were coming from French and déodorant and restaurant and so on.
Genau.
Okay.
And then words ending in or. So
Right.
or. I'm sure you can think of one.
Der Traktor?
Ja, genau. Der Traktor oder der Motor.
Okay, yeah.
Ja?
Right, so we've had words ending in ER, in ismus, in ant, in ling, and in or.
And I'm going to give you a little bonus here, which might interest some and others less. Alcoholic beverages are normally der.
Ah, right. Okay, well, der Wein, I'm sure I've heard of that once or twice.
Ja? Der Wein, der Whisky, der Cognac.
But what about, is it not das Bier?
Ja, genau. So the exception is das Bier.
Okay, right. That's useful to
Aber
know.
auch zum Beispiel der Grappa.
Der Grappa, so that's grappa like Italian grappa.
Yeah, which for Italians would be die.
Die
But
grappa.
for us, because it's an alcoholic beverage, it's der.
Okay, right.
Yeah?
Now, I'm sure there are lots of interesting conversations that we could have about gender and why the gender of these certain nouns is masculine or neuter or feminine. That's probably not for this episode and not
No,
quite
Mark,
for...
if I knew why, I would be selling books.
It's a complex subject.
It's very complex, and I think you need to do a lot of reading to find out. And I don't know why, but I know that.
In so many cases, the gender of a word in a language is about the way in which the word has come from other languages and how it's gendered in other languages and the etymology of the word. So it is a very complex subject. Let's move on and look at die words.
Genau. So let's look at die. And the first group I have is words ending in heit. Zum Beispiel die Gesundheit.
That's health.
Genau, die Gesundheit. Do you know another word ending in heit?
Yeah, die Freiheit, freedom.
Yes, die Freiheit. I'm sure you know this from the pop group Münchner Freiheit.
Ja, genau. Das, was ich will, bist du und so on, ja.
Genau. Super. Und dann die nächste Endung ist kite.
Ah, right.
Do you know something, a word ending in kite?
Yes, one of my favourite words actually, die Möglichkeit, possibility.
Genau, sehr gut, bravo. Genau, die Möglichkeit. And one of my favorite words, die Sauberkeit.
Die Sauberkeit. Is sauber something to do with magic?
No, that would be zaubern.
Ah,
Ja?
okay, right, okay.
Aber sauber ist, also Sauberkeit ist Cleanliness.
Ach so, okay, die Sauberkeit. Right, I'll remember that.
Genau, sehr gut. And another ending is schafft. And there is a beautiful word that we have ending in schafft, and it's die Freundschaft.
Yes, friendship. So Schaft is the German equivalent of the ship ending in English, friendship.
Genau.
Die Freundschaft.
Genau. And also an important word would be die Mannschaft.
Is that a team?
Yes, it's a team. So obviously there are people who now also say die Frauschaft. Okay, but that is really a new development. Okay. And then another ending that we have is ung.
U-N-G?
Yes. And here, maybe a word that people have come across is die Werbung.
Is that an advert?
Ja,
Like
genau.
an advertisement?
It's an advert,
Okay.
ja, die Werbung. And when it's very hot, what is important is die Kühlung.
Die Kühlung, something about cooling down. Is it air conditioning?
It can be. So die Kühlung means just something that makes something cool. So, for example, it could also be die Kühlung in a fridge.
Right, so it's like the element that makes the fridge cold.
And the opposite of Kühlung is?
Die die Heizung?
Yeah, almost. Almost. Die Heizung mit Z.
Heizung.
Yeah? Die Heizung,
Okay.
and that's the heating.
Right, okay. So die Kühlung, the cooling, and die Heizung, the heating.
Genau, sehr gut. Okay?
So these are all D words. So we've got Heit, Kite, Schaft, and so far.
Genau, sehr gut. And then, we have so many for D. Okay? So most words ending in I, for example, die Bäckerei.
Right, so you're saying I as in EI, the letters EI
Yes,
at the end of the
EI,
word.
sorry, but the sound
Okay.
that it makes is
Yes.
I. So die Bäckerei, die Metzgerei. So all these shops that end in I. Yeah?
And what about the word for egg?
Das Ei? Nein, tut mir leid. Tut mir leid. Das Ei. Yeah.
If the word ends in I, then fine, but if it is I, then no.
That is exactly it. So when the word ends in I, then it's very often a shop, yeah, or a concept like die Schweinerei.
What would the Schweinerei
Das
be?
ist eine Schweinerei. So it's
Pigsty.
It's outrageous.
Ah, right, okay. So has it got anything to do with Schwein?
Yes. So it's obviously messy and not good. Yeah.
So could you describe, for example, a child's bedroom as a Schweinerei?
No, we wouldn't do that. We
Okay.
would find it a Schweinerei that the child hasn't tidied up their bedroom.
Ah, okay, right. So in English we can say a pigsty for a child's bedroom if it's a real mess.
We could say, no, we wouldn't say it about someone's bedroom, to be honest. It could be a Schweinerei if you get on a train and it's very messy. Someone has spilled drinks and food
okay.
and, das ist eine Schweinerei hier drin.
It's
then
disgusting or
yes.
something like that.
But it would have to be messy, not just untidy, but,
Dirty.
sticky and dirty.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I have another list of endings that are quite straightforward. And I think I'm just going to say them and give you a couple of examples for each.
Okay.
Yes? So for example, the ending ade von Marmelade. Die Marmelade.
So jam.
Ja. Oder die Hitparade.
So the charts, the musical charts, yeah.
Ja. Then the ending age, wie Garage.
So die Garage, the garage or garage.
Die Passage.
The passageway, okay.
And then ending ans, wie zum Beispiel Eleganz
So elegance,
oder Dominanz.
dominance, these are straightforward.
And ending ens, wie Existenz
So existence,
oder Tendenz.
tendency.
Ja, sehr gut. Super.
Lots of these are cognates in English.
Yes. So, and then the ending ik, wie Musik.
So music,
Kritik.
critic, okay. So die Kritik, die Musik.
Ending ion, wie Diskussion.
So discussion,
Koalition.
coalition.
Und die ending tät, wie Identität.
So identity,
Qualität.
quality.
Und die ending ur, wie Agentur.
Agentur, is that just like an agent?
Agency.
Agency, right,
Agency.
okay.
Agentur oder Reparatur.
And that's a repair?
A repair.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, that has been quite a long list. We've gone through das words, der words, and die words. Is there anything else you want to add in here?
Yes, just something quite easy actually. And it's cardinal numbers
Okay.
are also feminine. So die drei.
Right, so the three.
Yeah. So die drei. So for example, imagine you're in a game show and you have to pick between numbers and you say, ich nehme die vier.
Right, so I'm going to take the number 4.
Genau.
Okay, so we now know what to talk about if we're on a game show in German.
Absolutely.
I think one of the things to think about is this is a big long list, but it's really useful to get these patterns, because the more patterns you learn, the more you can apply that to when you're sitting thinking, oh, is this a der word, a die word, or a das word? So that's been really helpful. But I think it might make even more sense to hear some of these words within the context of a conversation.
Yes, absolutely. And we have a lovely conversation about two people discussing art.
And that will be coming up after the break.
In addition to the podcast version of Coffee Break German Season 3, we're also putting together a full course on the Coffee Break Academy, where you'll be able to access bonus materials to help you make even better progress with your German.
That's right. Not only will you be able to enjoy an ad-free audio version of each lesson, we'll also provide a bonus episode where Andrea will be testing us with some translation challenges based on the topic of each lesson. And of course, there are comprehensive notes and a video version of each lesson too. Visit coffeebreakgerman.com and follow the links for Season 3 there. So today we have been looking at different words which follow certain patterns and help us identify whether they're der words, die words, or das words. And we're going to see them, as Andrea explained, in a conversation which features two people in a museum talking about art.
Ja, genau. Also Vorhang auf für Gundula und Karl.
Right, so we've got Gundula and Karl talking about art. Let's hear what this conversation has to offer.
Ich bin froh, dass wir noch Tickets für die Ausstellung bekommen haben.
Ja, das wollte ich unter keinen Umständen verpassen. Was für eine Gelegenheit, diese Kunstwerke zu betrachten.
Genau. In meinem Studium hatte ich die Möglichkeit, eine Ausstellung von diesem Künstler in München zu sehen. Das war in einer kleinen Galerie mit anschließender Diskussion mit dem Künstler.
Wirklich? Toll. Gab es da auch Kritik? Seine Arbeit ist ja teilweise etwas kontrovers.
Ja, natürlich. Manche Leute haben die Botschaft, die er mit seiner Skulptur aus Kupfer formuliert hat, nicht verstanden.
Also diese Skulptur gefällt mir wirklich sehr. Leider ist sie gerade in Reparatur. Jemand soll sie im letzten Museum beschädigt haben.
Ach, können die Leute nicht aufpassen? Respektlosigkeit.
Wollen wir nach der Besichtigung noch etwas trinken gehen?
Ja, das wäre nett. Ein Gläschen Wein oder so.
Ich mag keinen Wein. Ich trinke heute Abend lieber ein Bier.
Gehen wir gleich in die Kneipe neben der Universität?
Du meinst zum Goldenen Schilling? Dort war ich noch nie.
Ich auch erst einmal, zu einer Vernissage. Die Häppchen waren gut.
Na, dann lass uns dorthin gehen. Ich probiere gern etwas Neues aus.
Also sehr interessant. Danke, Karl und Gundula.
Ja, genau. So, Mark, did you understand what was happening in this conversation?
Yeah, I think certainly some of the words that we've covered today and the endings that we've covered today came up. So there was lots of vocabulary that I was trying to recognise. And perhaps you could give us a kind of summary of what happened.
Yes. So Gundula and Karl meet up for an exhibition of an artist they both like. And they feel very lucky that they have been able to get tickets for this exhibition. Und the exhibition is die Ausstellung.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Karl mentioned that he had the possibility once to see an exhibition by this artist during his studies. And there was a Q&A session afterwards. Yeah.
Okay.
And he had the feeling that some people just didn't understand the message, so the Botschaft. Of the sculpture made of copper.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Kupfer.
Kupfer, yeah. And the Botschaft is obviously die Botschaft because it ends in Schaft. Yeah.
Genau, die Botschaft und das Kupfer. And also they can't see this piece that was discussed at the time because someone damaged it at the last museum. And they are outraged about this. They think this is eine Respektlosigkeit.
Yeah, so we've seen the los ending, meaning less, so respectless. And then we've got the kite ending, it means it's a lack of respect, basically. Respektlosigkeit.
Respektlosigkeit is a lack of respect. Yeah. And then afterwards, they decide to go and have a drink somewhere. And they want to go to a place near the university. And they go to zum goldenen Schilling. So we have a nice ing ending there.
Okay, so we're going to go through this conversation in greater detail. And that is in our bonus episode, which you can find as part of the bonus materials for Coffee Break German Season 3. If you're already subscribed to that, then you can go straight over there and complete the bonus lesson and indeed our translation challenges, which is an extra episode giving you the chance to translate things based on what you've learned in this episode. If you're not already using this, you can find everything at the Coffee Break Academy over at coffeebreakacademy.com. Also, das reicht für heute?
Noch nicht ganz, Mark. Ich habe noch eine Kleinigkeit.
Ach so, natürlich.
Ja.
So, what do you have for us today in our little noch eine Kleinigkeit? And eine Kleinigkeit ends in Keit, therefore it must be feminine.
Quite right. Yes, excellent. Very good, very good. So I have something. We're going back to the Pfifferling. Do you remember what it is?
That's the chanterelle mushrooms.
Exactly. And we say something is keinen Pfifferling wert. Yeah, so it's not worth a chanterelle.
It's not worth a chanterelle mushroom. Okay, so what does that mean?
It means it has no value, really. And I looked up why this was the case. And it's because at the time when this phrase was formed, chanterelle mushrooms were the cheapest. They were everywhere available.
Right.
And they were so cheap that then people would say, das ist keinen Pfifferling wert. And it's really of no value.
Right, okay, that's very useful to know. And is that a phrase that's still in common use?
Absolutely, yes. I've used it many times. I just didn't know why.
Why? Good. Well, there you have noch eine Kleinigkeit. I believe that is it for now. That's where we're going to leave it. And we'll be back again soon with the next episode of Coffee Break German Season 3. Bis zum nächsten Mal.
Bis bald.
You have been listening to a Coffee Break Languages production for the Radiolingua Network. Copyright 2021 Radiolingua Limited. Recording copyright 2021 Radiolingua Limited. All rights reserved.